Hi, welcome to our December show here in Philadelphia. It's called Holiday RAWk. Holiday RAWk, well, it's everything you love about Raw in a shopping edition. So what we did is tonight we have all of our artists packaging up their talent for all the naughty and nice people in our lives. This evening we got Rivers Monroe, Parachuting Apostles, 4 different runways, along with 15 visual artists that have all put together packages, help us get a little bit of the shopping done, and just have a great show. So stick around and we'll be right back with you.
Started in my art basically as a child. I was always making. I really fell in love with weaving when I was in college. I took a weaving class and really kind of became borderline obsessed with the process. And so after I graduated, I bought a loom and I was trying to follow directions and patterns as to how to make scarves, and nothing was working right, so I was about to give up on weaving. And then I randomly found out the book was missing pages. It was on recall, so that's why none of my patterns were working. So I decided to just totally give up on following rules and patterns and just like do whatever I wanted. And so then I really started to develop my own style and loved doing it when I started breaking all of the rules and not following patterns. I draw my inspiration a lot from nature. When it's warm out, I ride my bike to work every day, which is about 10 miles both ways. So I became really interested in the fields and movement and how the colors change, because I ride as the sun comes up in the morning, so it really changes how things look. So I started really playing with those colors in my artwork. I also am a jewelry teacher, so I started thinking about how I could bring concepts from jewelry into my textile pieces and started incorporating metal and braiding into my scarves to create a combination of a woven scarf and a necklace all in one piece. My ultimate goal, I think it's a really hard question, partly because I'm also a teacher and I love teaching. So I guess at the moment my ultimate goal would be that I could be a part-time artist and a part-time teacher instead of a full-time teacher and a, any spare moment artist. This evening I'm presenting a variety of my scarves. What's going to be going down the runway are my scarves that I call chime scarves. They all have metal incorporated into them, and when you walk and move they make kind of a little wind chime feel. So they're also very, very calming pieces, which I didn't really plan, but once I started wearing them I realized I was a lot more relaxed when I wore them, because there's like this soothing feel to them. So that's what I'll be sharing tonight.
Funny thing is, how I got started in photography is I dated some guy, and oh god, here we go. And he asked me to go to a wedding with him, and this is how I got started in wedding photography. And the groomsman goes, "Hold my camera," and I'm holding this camera, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I going to do with this thing? It's awesome. It's like huge, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I felt awesome. So I'm going, I'm taking pictures, I'm trying to stand behind the photographer they have, and I'm snapping, whatever. A month later, I get a phone call from him. "Melissa, oh my god, did you see the pictures you took?" And I'm like, "No, I just handed you the camera back because I was so scared." He goes, "They're awesome. Be a photographer. You're great." And I've always had one of those throwaway cameras in my bag at all times. My girlfriends are like, "Let me guess, you have your camera?" Of course I do. Pictures on my wall since I've been young. So I've been addicted to photography and creating memories that last forever. That's just my thing. Oh my god, drawing my inspiration for photography is walking out the door. You can walk down the street and just see a lady sitting at the corner, God forbid, homeless, and there's people, and you actually see the beauty and the life. It's life. It's normal. It's real. And I think photography comes from within, and I think it's real, and I think it's art, and I think that anything can be art. From homeless to flowers to, you know, to bugs, to the sky, to just the bridge that's been standing there that everybody drives over constantly from work. And guess what? Never sees it from down below and actually gets the perspective of it that way. So that's where I get my art from. Where I'd like to go with my photography is, I'd just like to keep growing. I'd like to keep learning. I'd like to keep progressing. I'd like people to be affected by my work. When they walk in and they see my work, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you've seen that. I can't believe I was just standing there. I looked at the same exact thing, but I didn't see it the way you did. I want to get people's reactions. To me, succeeding is making other people see things that I seen and that they didn't see. And they're like, wow, this is great. I look at things completely differently now. So for me, that's succeeding, and that's where I want to be. I'm kind of eclectic, so I have a little bit of everything. Like I said, it's life, so my story is actually like life. I have pictures of bridges. I have pictures of the Karen's Castle. It's actually a really cool, ornate castle that's up in Burnout, and it's great. I've called pictures of boudoir, which is pretty much a sexual, inner, sultry woman, a beautiful landscape of a woman. Landscapes. A little bit of everything. Also, I did this really cool thing. What's the worst thing that can happen on your wedding day? And it's of brides with bloody noses walking down the aisle. It's of brides with mud all over them because they tripped and fell before they got in the limo. It's of brides, actually gold digger. She's holding a little poison with her husband behind her. So there's a whole bunch of fun I'm pulling out of the bag tonight. When I first heard about it, I was so excited. I heard about it from Mitchell, great guy. And he told me about it, and I was really excited. And I was like, wow, this is cool. I get to go, and I get to showcase my work and show people what I do. And from the minute I heard about it, from the minute I got on their website, from the responses that I got from it, from the emails, they're so on point, and it's so professional that I was like, wow, this is the real deal. Then when I got here and I actually got to see people setting up and people as so much interested in it as I was like, wow, this is great. This is going to be an awesome night. And, you know, the art of it is great to see so many people here. It's, all the art coming together is exactly what I love to do. So I fit right in, I hope. Hi, my name is Melissa Mahalchik, and I'm a Philly Raw artist.
Got started in music at a very young age. Over the last few years, really got heavily involved, you know, with the rock scene here in Philadelphia. You know, me and Matt, the other lead singer in the band, we've been playing together for probably about 5 or 6 years now. The other guys, we just found them through networking, you know what I mean, and friends of friends, stuff like that. So we've been a solid band now, Rivers Monroe, for about 2-3 years with the group of guys that we have now. So we have Matt Rivers, he's keyboards, vocals. Myself, Mike Monroe, vocals and rhythm guitar. Doc is our lead guitar player. Kirby is our bass player, and Dan, he is our drummer. We draw our inspiration from our music, from the music that we listen to, the music that we grew up with. We're a very mainstream, well, I'm a very mainstream person, so a lot of mainstream music that's on the radio and just from growing up, stuff like that. So where would I ultimately like to go with the music? Pretty much as far as we can. We have big goals, big dreams. You know, we'd like to tour nationally, be signed, tour internationally, you know, write as many records as we can, and pretty much hit as many ears as we possibly can. What songs are we showcasing? We're going to be doing songs, about 6 or 7 songs from our new album that we're going to be releasing. I don't know if we're going to self-title it or if we're going to call it Meteors, but it's basically going to be a hybrid of some of our old album, some of our Meteors album that we already have done, and a couple of newer songs that we haven't yet recorded that we're going to be kind of putting on this new hybrid album that's going to be coming out in January. My opinion of Philadelphia Raw is that it rocks. You want more than that? My opinion, this is great. Philadelphia Raw is great. I mean, it allows artists, musicians, you know, people from all different walks of life to come here and showcase their, you know, their artwork and their passion and what they love to do. So it's great because there's not a lot of venues and outlets for people to do that sort of thing, and it's really great that they're, you know, that they're able to, you know, to help out, you know, the local community.
The way I got started in fashion design, I was born in Puerto Rico and then moved to New York. And my mom was working in a manufacturing company in 6th Avenue. So I got inspired by her from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, when all the big designers was in all their power, like Halston, Roberto Capucci, Valentino, Oscar de la Renta, they all started. And my mom was a very high fashion woman in the field of fashion. And I got inspired by that, seeing her going to work, coming home, and seeing all the fashion. And because at that time, fashion was fashion. Even though fashion is not fashion now and nowadays, but that's what I got inspired from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and trying to bring it up to the year that we are now. And that's why I got inspired by her, pretty much so. ultimate goal, I want to go, I mean, sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. I want to end up maybe in Paris, New York. I want to be, even though I was in front cover of RAWk Mexico and different other magazines, and Calalang, Puerto Rico, and feature a few times here in the magazines and newspapers here in Philadelphia. But I want to have my house. I want a house of Kakia Sueños design. I want to have a house, can be here in Philly, can be in New York, can be in Paris, with my line of models, my makeup and hair team, and go forward with that. That's one of my goals. I'm presenting this evening in RAWk. My collection is inspiration in color and high couturier, because I'm presenting a lot of gowns, a lot of color. My trademarks is basically trains, and I always design out of the box, because I always say is when you present something in the runway, you should bring a runway. You should get it, you should do a show. And that's what I'm presenting here. I'm doing a lot of hats for the first time. I'm showing hats for the first time in my collection. I'm showing my fall, spring, last year collection. That's what I'm showing on RAWk tonight. My opinion, Philadelphia RAWk, I'm very blown away. I was brought up to Philadelphia RAWk by a good friend of mine named Tyrone. He brought me to RAWk for the first time, and I was pretty inspired by that, because I was surrounded by so many artists, including myself, that they're struggling in this field that I am now, and they are so talented. And I always want to come on board, and I got inspired by that. And when I went to the page and I saw that nationwide, and that was really interesting to go there, because I mean, when you're in the field of fashion, you have to, number one, have a lot of money to go in the field of fashion. You have to know people that can bring you up there. And I think RAWk, the way RAWk has it, you can go far, because it's nationwide, and I got very inspired by that. Mi nombre es Orlando Kakia y yo soy un Philadelphia RAWk artístico y diseñador del futuro.